What if I told you that in 2025, three countries could collapse, one from financial ruin, another from a natural disaster, and the third from political chaos? Sounds unbelievable, right? But what if the legendary Baba Vanga foresaw this exact fate? For decades, her prophecies have left the world stunned, predicting events with eerie accuracy. From global conflicts to economic crashes, many believe her visions hold secrets about our future. Now, a disturbing prediction emerges. Three nations could face their downfall in 2025. Which countries are at risk? And is there still time to prevent disaster? Stay with me as we unravel this chilling prophecy, and you might just see the warning signs for yourself. Before we begin, if you're new here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Also, comment below with this powerful affirmation: I am prepared for whatever the future holds. Let's dive in. Number 3. A nation on the brink of economic ruin. Throughout history, no empire or nation has been immune to economic collapse. From ancient civilizations to modern superpowers, financial instability has proven to be one of the most destructive forces capable of bringing down even the mightiest nations. Baba Vanga's prophecy about a country that will face total economic collapse in 2025 has sent shockwaves through those who follow her predictions. Could this be a nation already struggling with a failing economy, or will an unexpected financial disaster strike a powerful country? The global economy is already showing cracks. Inflation, debt crises, failing banks, and unemployment rates skyrocketing worldwide. But while many countries are experiencing economic troubles, Baba Vanga's vision points to one that will suffer so severely that it could lose its stability, its currency, and possibly even its government. If history has taught us anything, financial collapse doesn't just affect one nation, it sends ripple effects across the world. The question is, which country is on the verge of disaster? One of the strongest candidates for this prophecy is Argentina, a country that has been battling severe economic issues for decades. With inflation reaching over 200% in 2024, it is one of the most financially unstable nations in the world. The Argentine peso has collapsed to the point where basic goods have become unaffordable for ordinary citizens, and the government has been forced to take extreme measures, including currency controls and interest rate hikes. Many experts believe that Argentina is already in a state of financial ruin, but could 2025 be the year it fully collapses? If the government defaults on its debt or if hyperinflation worsens, Argentina could face a complete economic meltdown, forcing its citizens into extreme poverty and pushing the nation towards political chaos. Could this be the country Baba Vanga predicted would fall? Or is there another nation on the brink of destruction? Another possible candidate for this prophecy is Lebanon, a nation already living in financial catastrophe. Since 2019, Lebanon has faced one of the worst economic collapses in modern history. Its currency has lost over 98% of its value, leading to mass poverty, skyrocketing food prices, and a failing banking system. The government is struggling to maintain even the most basic public services, and protests against financial mismanagement have turned into violent uprisings. If Lebanon's situation does not improve in 2025, it could reach a breaking point, leading to total state failure. This would mean no functional government, no reliable currency, and millions of people left in economic despair. Some analysts believe that Lebanon is past the point of recovery and that a major societal collapse is inevitable. If Baba Vanga's vision is correct, could this be the country that ceases to exist as an independent state in 2025? Or does the prophecy hint at something even bigger? Some fear that Baba Vanga's prophecy might not just apply to a small, struggling nation, but to a global superpower, one that no one expects to fall. The United States, for instance, has been dealing with increasing financial instability, including rising inflation, national debt exceeding $34 trillion, and a deeply divided political system. Some economists have warned that the U.S. economy could face a major crisis in 2025, potentially triggering a global financial meltdown. If the stock market crashes, if banks fail, or if the government is unable to manage its growing deficit, America could enter the worst financial disaster since the Great Depression. While it may seem unthinkable for a global superpower like the U.S. to collapse, history has shown that even the mightiest nations can fall when economic instability meets political division. Could Baba Vanga have foreseen the fall of an empire in 2025? At the heart of Baba Vanga's prophecy lies a powerful warning: no country is too strong to fall, and economic ruin can happen faster than anyone expects. The world has seen this before. The Soviet Union collapsed due to economic mismanagement. Venezuela fell into chaos after its financial system crumbled, and Zimbabwe's economy became worthless due to hyperinflation. If this prophecy is correct, then 2025 could be the year we witness another nation follow this tragic path. The question remains, which country will it be? And more importantly, can anything be done to stop it? Let us know in the comments. Do you believe this prophecy is real? And which country do you think is at the greatest risk? Number 2. A nation facing devastation from natural disaster. Nature has always held immense power over humanity. Civilizations have risen and fallen due to earthquakes, tsunamis, floods, and other natural catastrophes. Baba Vanga's chilling prophecy for 2025 warns that one country will face such a catastrophic natural disaster that it could bring the nation to its knees. While the world has seen countless natural calamities, this one will be unlike any before, so devastating that it could collapse an entire country's economy, displace millions of people, and leave the nation in ruins. But which country could be the one she foresaw? Scientists and experts have already warned that several regions are at extreme risk of disaster in the coming year, and some nations are standing on the edge of a cataclysm that could change their fate forever. One of the most concerning possibilities is Japan. Sitting on the infamous Ring of Fire, Japan has always been highly vulnerable to earthquakes and tsunamis. The 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami caused devastation on an unimaginable scale, leading to the Fukushima nuclear disaster and economic losses exceeding $235 billion. Now, experts warn that a megaquake could hit Japan in the coming years, potentially as soon as 2025. If a massive 9.0+ magnitude earthquake were to strike near Tokyo or Osaka, it could wipe out major cities, cripple infrastructure, and cause tsunamis that would destroy coastal areas. The aftermath could push Japan's economy into a freefall, leading to food shortages, mass evacuations, and a humanitarian crisis beyond anything we've seen before. Could this be the catastrophe Baba Vanga foresaw? Could Japan, one of the world's most advanced nations, face an unstoppable force of nature that brings it to the brink of collapse? Another potential disaster waiting to happen is the eruption of Yellowstone's supervolcano in the United States. Scientists have long studied this giant volcanic system in Wyoming, warning that if it were to erupt, it could cause devastation on a planetary scale. A Yellowstone eruption would release massive amounts of ash and toxic gases into the atmosphere, blocking out sunlight and triggering a global cooling event. Crops would fail, temperatures would plummet, and millions of people across North America would face starvation and disease. The United States would be at the epicenter of this apocalyptic event, with entire states becoming uninhabitable. The economy would crash, the government would struggle to maintain order, and the country could be thrown into total collapse. Could Baba Vanga's prophecy refer to the U.S. being brought to its knees not by war or economic turmoil, but by a disaster beyond human control? Aside from earthquakes and volcanoes, climate change-related disasters are also growing more extreme. Countries like Bangladesh and the Netherlands are already experiencing rising sea levels that threaten to swallow their land. If a superstorm or catastrophic flood were to hit one of these nations in 2025, it could displace millions and leave the country uninhabitable. Bangladesh, for example, is home to over 170 million people. but much of its land lies just a few meters above sea level. If the worst-case scenario unfolds, a powerful cyclone combined with record-breaking floods, the nation could face a disaster unlike anything in history. Entire cities would be lost, the economy would be destroyed, and the world could witness the first modern country to disappear beneath the waves. Baba Vanga's predictions have often centered around natural disasters, and if this prophecy is true, 2025 may bring a catastrophe that will alter the global landscape forever. Whether it's a megaquake, a volcanic eruption, or climate devastation, one country could find itself at the mercy of an unstoppable disaster. The only question that remains is, which nation will be the one to fall? Could there still be time to prepare? Let us know in the comments which country you think is most at risk. Number 1. A nation that will collapse due to war and internal chaos. Throughout history, the collapse of nations has often been triggered by war, political instability, and internal conflict. Baba Vanga's prophecy for 2025 warns of a country that will fall not because of economic collapse or natural disaster, but due to violence, war, and societal breakdown. While many countries in the modern world face tensions, few are on the verge of complete collapse. However, rising global conflicts, deepening divisions, and escalating political instability suggest that Baba Vanga's vision may not be far from reality. The question is, which nation is at the greatest risk of being torn apart by war and internal chaos? One of the strongest candidates for this prophecy is Ukraine. Since 2022, the country has been locked in a devastating war, with its economy, infrastructure, and population suffering immense losses. While Ukraine has shown incredible resilience, the prolonged conflict has drained resources, weakened the government, and caused millions of people to flee. If the war escalates further in 2025, or if international support weakens, Ukraine could reach a breaking point. Cities may become uninhabitable, supply chains could collapse, and the country might lose the ability to function as a sovereign state. While the world hopes for peace, history has shown that prolonged wars often lead to the destruction of nations. Could Baba Vanga have foreseen Ukraine falling in 2025? Or does her prophecy point to an entirely different country on the verge of collapse? Another country facing severe internal instability is Pakistan. Political turmoil, economic struggles, and increasing militant activities have pushed the country towards crisis. The nation has faced multiple leadership changes in recent years, economic downturns, food shortages, and rising extremist violence. In 2025, these factors could escalate into a full-blown national collapse. A civil war-like situation, a military takeover, or an internal rebellion could cause the government to lose control. If this happens, Pakistan could enter a state of lawlessness, with regions breaking away, terrorist groups gaining more power, and millions of people facing extreme hardship. If Baba Vanga's prophecy is true, Pakistan may be one of the most likely candidates to fall into complete chaos. But perhaps the most shocking possibility is that a global superpower could be the one to collapse. The United States has been experiencing growing divisions, political unrest, and increasing tensions between different social and political groups. Many analysts believe that the country is more divided than ever, and some even predict that a second civil war could be possible in the coming years. If political instability, protests, and violent clashes increase, the U.S. could face an internal crisis so severe that it weakens its position as a global leader. Economic issues, rising crime, and extreme ideological conflicts could tear the nation apart from within. While the idea of a superpower collapsing might seem unthinkable, history has shown that even the strongest empires have fallen due to internal conflict. Could Baba Vanga have foreseen the decline of the world's most powerful nation? In the end, Baba Vanga's prophecy serves as a chilling warning. Whether it's a war-torn country like Ukraine, a politically unstable nation like Pakistan, or an unexpected collapse of a global power like the U.S., 2025 could be a year that changes the world forever. The fall of one country could create a domino effect, leading to global instability. financial crises, and shifts in world power. The only question that remains is, which country will be the one to fall? What do you think? Will Baba Vanga's prophecy come true? Let us know in the comments which nation you believe is most at risk in 2025. Why only these countries? Baba Vanga's prophecies often leave room for interpretation, but they also contain eerie accuracy. If her vision of 3 countries collapsing in 2025 is true, why would only these specific nations be affected? The answer lies in a combination of economic fragility, geopolitical tensions, natural vulnerabilities, and deep-rooted internal conflicts. Not every country is at risk of collapse, but the ones we discussed, facing financial ruin, devastating disasters, or war, are already standing on the edge of disaster. Let's explore why these particular nations are the ones most likely to fall and why others might survive despite facing hardships. First, some countries are simply better equipped to handle crises. The world has faced countless economic downturns, wars, and natural disasters, yet many nations recover instead of collapsing. This is because strong economies, stable governments, and well-developed infrastructures provide resilience. For example, Germany suffered severe inflation and economic struggles in the past, but rebuilt itself into an economic powerhouse. Similarly, countries like Japan and South Korea have experienced devastating wars and natural disasters, yet continue to thrive due to strong leadership and innovation. However, the nations predicted to fall in 2025 lack this level of resilience, either because their economies are too weak, their governments are too unstable, or they face crises too overwhelming to manage. Another major factor is geopolitical isolation and international support. When a country is in crisis, its ability to receive help can determine whether it survives or collapses. Some nations have powerful allies and economic safety nets, while others are left to fend for themselves. For example, if a country like Ukraine were to lose international aid, its ability to sustain itself would weaken drastically. Similarly, countries like Pakistan face internal struggles but have limited global alliances to provide economic or military support in times of crisis. On the other hand, a country like the United States, even if it faces deep internal division, has a vast economy, a strong military, and global influence that would make total collapse far less likely. However, if internal chaos grows uncontrollable, even the strongest nations can fall. Natural disasters also play a significant role in determining which nations are at risk. Some countries are geographically unlucky, sitting on major fault lines, vulnerable coastlines, or near active volcanoes. Japan, Indonesia, and the Philippines frequently experience earthquakes and tsunamis, while Bangladesh and the Netherlands constantly battle rising sea levels. While most countries can withstand occasional disasters, an unprecedented catastrophe, like the eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano or a megaquake in Tokyo, could overwhelm a nation's ability to recover. This is why certain countries are more vulnerable than others. Their geographic location puts them in the direct path of destruction, making survival much harder. Lastly, the combination of multiple crises at once is what makes these nations the most vulnerable. A country that is only facing economic problems might struggle, but not collapse. A country suffering only from political turmoil might recover over time. However, when a nation is dealing with economic collapse, political instability, war, and natural disasters all at once, the possibility of total failure becomes far more likely. This is why Baba Vanga's prophecy may point to these specific countries. They are facing multiple, interconnected crises that are pushing them toward an irreversible breaking point. So why only these countries? Because their economies, governments, locations, and current challenges make them the most vulnerable to collapse. While other nations will also face hardships in 2025, these 3 stand at the greatest risk of complete downfall. The only question left is, will these predictions come true, or is there still time to change fate? What do you think? Are these the nations most at risk, or could another country be the one to fall? Let us know in the comments. The world is changing rapidly, and if Baba Vanga's prophecy is true, 2025 could be a year of massive shifts in global power. Whether these nations truly collapse or manage to survive against all odds, one thing is certain: history is unfolding before our eyes. As we move closer to the future, it's crucial to stay informed, prepared, and aware of the signs around us. What do you think? Will these countries truly fall, or is there still hope for them to recover? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest updates on powerful prophecies, shocking predictions, and hidden knowledge. Remember, knowledge is power, and the future belongs to those who seek the truth. Stay curious, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video.